would like to remind everybody that you can only do your best, and your best in this moment is good enough. And everybody's best is different on each day, and it's okay if that's not today. So give yourself a break. Well, it was a couple weeks but we're finally here. So thank you for having me.
All right. So ready to get started?
I'm ready.
First up, tell us a bit about your journey, Jane. We'd be happy to know, how did you become? You'll tell us a bit about your current role. Is it everything you dreamed of? If yes, why? If no, why not?
So right now, I am the CEO of the Business Supply Group, the first female CEO in the company's almost 3 years history. So that is pretty exciting, and I've really enjoyed the path so far. Recently, we've amalgamated the two divisions. So previously, I was the CEO of the Boss, which is stationery and furniture. We distribute that, and we distribute in the Caribbean as well as Trinidad and Tobago. And we recently, as I said, amalgamated with ScriptJ, our printing division, print and packaging. So in October last year, I would have gotten the elevated position through our consolidated efforts over the last couple of months. So it's definitely enhanced portfolio. It's taken me from sole distribution into the manufacturing arena, which is nothing like distribution. When you talk about customized printing and packaging, no 2 days are the same. And it has been a wild ride, I would say. As I said, started in October, became a CEO in 2017. So it's been pretty good. I think some days it feels like my old life, and I came from an HR background. So, dealing with people issues and challenges with performance and motivation, and many days it's the same thing. Like some days I feel like I'm in the same job, and then some days I'm like, I am not in the same job. I am frustrated as hell, and it's like, no, we can't do that. So I definitely have seen my personality grow and change and adapt. Because I think by nature, I'm a little bit more friendly and casual and relaxed. But when it comes to making money, I'm not mixing any matters. I don't work for a nonprofit, and it is about making money that I do believe should be reinvested into an organization to make it quality organization and an employer of choice. So yes, we want to pay dividends to our investors. Yes, we want to be profitable. It does cycle back in, but we're not in business to make a loss. And that's what I've been trying to do. It is not always easy, especially when you're dealing with a pandemic, and that's not something that you faced. So when you talk about all that it's cracked up to be, in the CEO role, there's many decisions that you never thought you'd have to make. So it is and it isn't. But I'm very happy to be where I am and up for the challenge.
All right. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so let's take you to the next question today. Your contribution. How have you and or your organization contributed to the development of the economy and society?
Well, I would say firstly, we have about 100 and I feel like it's 32 employees total. So I believe that I'm responsible for 132 people in this country. And I believe if you create an environment where people can grow and feel like an asset, an organization, it'll trickle into the wider society. So I don't always get it right. There will still be people in the organization who think the organization doesn't care. We're not perfect. We're not without our, I don't want to say haters, but the employees who might feel we could do better. And for certain, we can do better. But I believe if we treat people with respect, 132 people shouldn't be angry when they reach home, shouldn't shout at their siblings or husbands or wives or children. They shouldn't cuss people on the road when they're driving. They shouldn't feel the need to steal or do the wrong things. So I do believe that if you create an environment and an organization in any country, you are serving the greater good. And what you do and don't do for the people that work with you is going to have an impact on the society. So I love my country and I love the Caribbean region, and my goal is just to do better, and so that I leave people better off than when they first met me, so that through the transition they could see some of the things that I would want to do and what I can do. As I said, I don't always succeed, but it's still my mission to leave people better off than they were before they met me.
2 thumbs up for that. All right, Jane, we're going great so far. So your outlook. What significant changes have you observed over the past 2 to 3 years? And what's your outlook for the next 12 months?
I think in the context of where we are, 2 to 3 years is we're right in the pandemic, so I couldn't talk about changes if I didn't talk about the pandemic, which for Trinidad is going on over a year and a half, so where we were before and where we are now feels worlds apart, especially when we've had periods where we've had to close down temporarily or work shared working hours, which has started again because of the second lockdown, so people's emotions are heightened. I mean, people, I think, are humans, that have feelings and emotions, and during this time a lot of things come to the surface. People are completely out of their element when it comes to whether their home life is different. People who used to lime every Friday, car lime, car do this, people have gone through a sense of loss. People are scared. I never thought I would see the day when people were scared to come outside of their house besides anything but crime. I mean, people previously, crime was the biggest reason you felt afraid to leave your house in this country for some people. But we're facing a virus which is challenging, and it comes with so much else. The decisions are tougher. We have gone through retrenchments in both divisions. It has not been easy. And survival of the business is critical, even more critical than before, because it's not a matter of we're making, less profits. It's about cash flow and can I pay my bills, So there's just been such a vast change. And as I look forward for the next 12 months, I just hope to continue to be tighter in terms of our communication with the staff, in terms of the things that we can do differently in managing performance and setting expectations, because sometimes in this current environment you can get despondent and lazy or frustrated, and it's hard to motivate yourself. I guess I'm in a fortunate position that if I don't motivate myself, I wake up and I'm like, get it together. I've always had the ability to snap myself out of it and motivate myself, but I do understand where people just don't have it, and it's harder for some people. So I know that motivating people to go above and beyond sometimes and produce at a higher level is going to be challenging, but it is what we need in order to survive and thrive and grow and transform. So for me, it's a lot about culture. It's a lot about, open communication and honesty. And sometimes people don't want to hear an honest fact. And that goes from the leaders in the organization to employees in the organization. So I talk about 12 months in terms of the organization. But for me personally, I'm looking forward to a carnival at some point. I'm looking forward to being outdoors. I'm looking forward to be able to see my friends on a regular basis, without distancing in open air, So I would like to think that through more people getting vaccinated and people doing the right things, that we will be able to be in a place in the next couple of months that doesn't feel like this one,
Yeah. Brings us to your hurdles now. What was one of your most challenging experiences? And how were you able to manage, overcome?
I feel like so much has been, if you want to call it like a hurdle or a challenge, but that's life. you know, there's been many points where I felt like I've had to overcome hurdles, even getting from HR to the CEO level, that was a hurdle, and to continue to carve out a space where I can be authentic and honest with people. Sometimes I feel like when I say things, people may or may not get offended, or they may not believe what I say. So I always feel that I can do better at my communication. And sometimes I get the mark, and sometimes I don't. And sometimes I feel like people left the meeting better off. And then they're like, no, that meeting sucked, and whether I have to reflect on how I come across or some of the things that I say when I am being straightforward. But I think that because I know I'm a good person, and because I know I have good intentions, I feel like I should be able to say anything, which is not true, which is not true. So sometimes when I speak, I don't know, sometimes when people take it the wrong way, and sometimes it takes a while for people to get to understand that I am who I say I am. So I think my personality has been a challenge throughout my entire career. Some people would have said to me, like, I don't know why she's so bubbly, who she feels she is, or who she feels she's fooling, and just perceptions of who I am, and overcoming those things. Those are hurdles. And as I said, I've explained to you the pandemic hurdles that have been happening currently. But every bit of life is a challenge. And I think for me in particular, I have had challenges with anxiety, and to overcome that, I plan. I talk through things with other people and myself. And when you're dealing with work situations, it can be challenging. We all have doubts, and we all have frustrations, and it's that motivating and remotivating myself, which has always been a constant hurdle. And I think some people don't understand that enjoying your life and appreciating your life is a choice. Being happy or being content is an active choice, because there are people that I know who I would think have no reason to be upset or sad or anxious, might be. And, then there's some people who I think should be anxious, and they're like, nah, I cool. And I'm like, are you? And, you want to feel sorry for some people, and they've made it through because they actively choose to do better. And they actively choose not to let things get them down, or just continue to build themselves up. So I think that will forever be an ongoing, talk with myself and pep talk. And as I said, some things are easier than others. Some days are easier than others. But I think it's all about prioritizing your mental health and well-being, and prioritizing you in the equation. But I do want to say, and I always try to maintain, that being a mother, personally, from what I've seen, I'm not a mother. So I feel like when I say prioritize yourself and take care of yourself, I think about the mothers, and I'm like, I don't know how you're going to do that. Like, you need to find your balance and your version of sanity, because I think, mothers and parents in general have a whole other situation to deal with. So bless anybody who is a parent in this world, because I think they would have unique challenges.
What friendly advice do you have for persons getting into business and or leadership?
A couple of things that I would say is the motivation part. If you do not want it actively, and you are not prepared to re-motivate yourself and pick yourself up, then you might as well just not do it. Whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur or you're trying to be a leader, if you cannot motivate yourself, you could just exit one time or not start. Because many people say they want to be entrepreneurs, and they hit a couple road bumps and they're devastated. Once you're not devastated for too long, you get back up. And if you don't have that fighting power and that pushing through and that can-do attitude, then it makes no sense. And the same can go for leadership. Being a leader is not easy. You will be criticized. You will never be good enough. Well, people will always have something to say about you. You will be talked about. You will be somebody's problem at their family dinner table. you have to be prepared to take the good with the bad, and you will always be held to a higher standard. So yes, you could get vexed about it and say, oh, I do so much and these people are ungrateful. Sometimes you would feel like that, but so do employees feel like that, but leaders are not given enough or do enough. And when you get frustrated with people, sometimes it's easier to cuss children. It's easier to treat people a certain way if they're your family, but these people work with you and they deserve more than that from a professional standpoint, from a motivational standpoint. And that is not easy, because sometimes people feel as a leader you have so much work to do and you have all these employee issues that taking up your time. That is your job. And some people don't realize that as a leader, you are a coach, a mentor, advisor, and some people don't understand the importance that their role has in an organization. So if you're not ready to accept it, don't go there. If you're looking for a salary, I would say don't go there, because some people accept a leadership position because they're making more money when really and truly their heart is not in it. So save everybody some time and some frustration and don't go for that job.
So we've come to the end of the serious part.
Yes.
You ready for the other side of C-suite?
Sure.
Now I have to warn you and I have to set this up. We have some rules for this corner.
When you're feeling sad, simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
Wow.
I love singing. I sing in the shower all the time, I sing every time. I love karaoke. Like, I was the easy one.
Tell us some of your favorite things, Jane. Favorite food, song, book, people, place to visit, whatever is on that list. Share with us.
Favorite book would be Jim Collins' Good to Great, one of my all-time favorite books, and Emotional Intelligence. Favorite food, I love all kind of food. I love food so much. To say I could choose one thing, it would be hard. I'm missing my doubles. I really like pizza. I really like pizza. I love snacks. I love chocolate. I love all kind of things. Favorite place, I don't think I have a favorite place yet. I like traveling. I like going to different places and experiencing different things. My favorite song, I love music. I may not be able to tell you who sang it. I'm not one of those that could rattle off those things, but I like singing. My family and my sisters, my mom, my dad, my boyfriend, he challenges me and we have a great relationship, so I'm happy about him. My previous coach, Shelly-Ann Gajda, Dr. Shelly-Ann Gajda, love her. She helped me through a critical time in my career, and doing coaching with her was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Nice. So let's go on to the other. Your clumsiest moment.
Oh God. I fell down some stairs because I am kind of clumsy and I am short. So I used to wear high heels back in the day, a lot more than I do now. And I fell backwards down some stairs once and caught the side handle of like a wall. And that was pretty embarrassing. And I have fallen backwards. Yeah, that wasn't good. But I didn't manage to hurt myself. I've had 55 stitches throughout my whole life, by the way. So I have been, even though I consider myself a girly girl, I definitely had my fair share of falling down, riding bikes, running myself into a gate, like that whole situation. So I'm a clumsy person.
Oh dear. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at you. All right. Frowns. What gets you? Your pet peeves.
Don't lie to me. My mother always used to say, don't embarrass me. Don't let me find out you did something disrespectful or wrong from somebody else. Tell me first, you know? And that has always stuck with me. Friends, family, work colleagues, like, you tell me if you messed up and we will figure it out together, but don't let me find out before you tell me. So I don't like that. If you make a mistake, you tell me and we'll fix it. So that's definitely a pet peeve. And then I don't know if it's a pet peeve, but I don't enjoy spending time with negative people or people who can't make fun of themselves or joke a little bit. Like, if you have no sense of humor, I mean, you have to work with some people, you have to be family with some people, but if you have no sense of humor, I'll just limit my interactions, because I feel that this life is too serious. So you should be able to enjoy it.
Playtime. What do you do for fun?
Again, being in this pandemic, it's hard to feel like all the things that I like to do, feel like I can't do it, which is spend time with friends, go travel. Both my sisters don't live in this country, which has been very difficult for me. I like to karaoke, as I said. I actually still karaoke at home, and just sing. I like writing in my journal, so I like to relax. I also like to do nothing. People ask me a lot about balance, and I have balance for my life. Their balance is different for everybody. So I just don't know how parents do it.
Oh, Jane, would you believe we are just to the end of our little time together? Oh my gosh. And I was having like a nice rocket time here. So before we go though, we want to ask you to make a wish.
Wish is always for the world to be a better place. For people to treat each other the way they want to be treated, with respect and kindness. There's so much hate in this world. It breaks my heart to know that there's so much pulling and tugging and divides between race and religion and classes, and I just wish people could be nicer to each other. I think there's a choice in almost everything that we do and how we treat and interact with each other, and the world has too much problems. So I would say world peace. To be honest with you, that's always been my wish. And if it's not world peace, it's peace in somebody's community, peace in my community, peace in my organization, whatever peace closest to me.
Excellent. So Jane, on behalf of the Key Business community, we want to say thank you. Thank you for stopping by. See you around the